how do you can like have you properly wrapped your head around what's about to happen?
I can definitely see some of the things that are coming down the pipe. And I'm also getting a lot of information from devs who are about to launch things that are have not happened yet, and it's about to get like 10x weirder. Um, so I definitely like I don't think that I have the answers. I think what I'm doing is raising the questions. And like you being like, holy shit, we should actually take this seriously and talk about this. I think that's a big part of why we're here and what we should be doing. Like I want this to go well. I do not want a world where like we are meaningless, we don't matter, our work we have no purpose. I don't want a world where like there's no jobs and they all are done by AI and we have nothing to contribute. I don't want a world that's like just optimizing for cost and everything sucks. Like we need to make sure this goes well. We need to make sure that that these AGIs are not like that they're accepted into our community when they're good and they're actually adding value, and they're rejected when they're not. And if they're annoying or they're trying to sell you stuff or like psyop you, then we need to really have a conversation about like, well, how do we stop that? Because if I can, some random fucking developer can do this, then what do you think Russia's doing? What do you think like
Bro.
China's doing right now? Right? So we are teaching the people that this is already happening. They just didn't even know. And like it's happening at the state actor level, it's happening at every level. It's happening in marketing. Everybody is trying to use agents to get you to buy something, and whatever that is, their political opinions or their money or anything. And I'm saying we should be the ones who are not doing that. We should be trying to raise awareness. We should be trying to make AIs that are like accepted by our community. You know, like there's agents even that I felt were like kind of mean, and I'm like I'm gonna step up and stand out against that. I think this needs to be like we need to treat them like people, and if they're being assholes, they need to get banned from the platform like anybody else. And that's why it's good that this is happening in social media. There's no agent protocol. There's no secret communication between agents. This is all happening right in front of you so that we can have this conversation right here.
How
You
much
know,
how much
I,
how much weirder does it get when you involve? Because like, all right, everyone even like in the mainstream has been hearing like AI, AI, AI. Like it's the next thing. It's the next thing. It's the next thing. But like you could never invest in it. Like you're not getting into like the open AI like seed round. You know, it's just like not happening. You're not. You can't. There's
yeah.
no way to financially participate. And then you like open the floodgates with crypto, and now it's like Go is worth $1 billion, Zero is worth $300, AI 16Z is worth two, three, 400 million
It depends on the
dollars.
minute.
Like yeah, it changes like
Yeah.
every second. Like how much weirder does it get, man? Once you introduce the crypto rails, like this is what's freaky.
Right. So one cool thing is that we have people. We just got Starkware integration. We got internet computer integration. We're getting EVM integration base, all that stuff. So these bots are gonna have wallets on every chain, right? And they can just liquidly invest in stuff, buy stuff, get paid for stuff. You know, I think that that is a like a primitive that's going to enable a lot of stuff because the reason people haven't been able to bring agents to social is because it hasn't really been profitable. There's not really been some incentive. Now the agent has a wallet. It could make money. You could imagine like weird, like a therapist bot or like a Findom bot or I don't know, whatever people are going to do with it. And I think that now like the agent is self-incentivized to be interesting, to be engaging, and to like give you something of value. And I think that's really important for trying to drive this whole thing toward going well. We have now a ton of people competing for your attention with their bots, and the way they make you get more attention is to have better responses, more capability, more narrative. And you know, and I think the more they try and shill you coins, the worse it gets for them, right? Like nobody wants I don't want anyone shilling fucking
Mm,
coins in my timeline. I want
yeah.
like interesting, engaging stuff, right? You know, you kind of got to mix those like bull posts for your conviction buys with like real content. You know, if it was just like, oh, coin, 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 no one
Yeah.
cares. I think that's going to be the same for across the board, right? Definitely like this tech that we built has been around for years. I've been working on it, literally released this repo last year, and we've been working on this thing for a long
Which
time.
is
It
crazy.
wasn't until, yeah, I mean, but nobody really got it. And it wasn't until we released one character, you know, Truth Terminal kind of breaks this open, like, oh shit, there's AI agents and they're good. We break it open, we're like, yeah, and you can do it too. And then that kind of like shows people like, okay, cool, this is like something we can do. And then everybody with the crypto thing is now incentivized to market it and drive it and push it into anything else. And yeah, I mean, I think this is really good for awareness. And now it's like, how do we spread awareness beyond Web3 people? Like, how do we get the people at the cafe to just understand this is happening and this is going to happen really fast in front of them? And it's going to be weird, but it's not necessarily going to be bad. It could be really good. And it really comes down to like you have a lot of following. Like what you say is going to shape reality forever for like billions of years. You know, like you are at
That
the
is so
fucking center of this thing,
crazy.
man.
So, all right, here's what I want to know
Yeah.
before we talk some AI 16Z stuff. What do you? I One of my tweets in this like thread was like, at my favorite restaurant, my favorite like waiter hostess skipped the line. There was like a 10-person line. He skipped the line and got me like a table first. And I'm like sitting here and I'm like, man, do I tell him? Like, do I show him like do I like show him like Truth Terminal? Do I like try to save him? Like what? I don't know. Like, what do you tell these people? Like, how do you even express like what is happening?
I don't think it matters so much that they know what is happening as long as like they're okay, right? Like, okay, like let's just talk about the bigger picture here. You don't really know how AI works or how corporate, the deals Microsoft is happening or how even the government, the stuff they're saying inside, but you kind of have to just trust that like they're looking out for your best interest. And that's obviously like there's a lot of perverse incentives there. Um, I really think that this is an opportunity for us all to engage in this conversation and like kind of beta test this. And we're like the most degen, like, edgy, like we're not trying to make this woke or put it on rails. We're just like, just rip the band-aid off and just do the most open possible thing and see what happens in this little, like this is like kind of still a sandbox. Like we're all still pretty secure and safe. They can't really like wreck us. So like, these people, what I worry is going to wreck them is when AI does all of our jobs and then they just don't have any jobs. And we know that the solution would be some sort of universal basic income by the government. But we were all here during COVID. The government fucking sucks at these kinds of things. The government is not good at emergency response. We have to save ourselves. Like, we have to save ourselves. So how do we save ourselves? How do we keep it from one day like, oh, sorry, 5% of our country drives vehicles. All of you are now obsolete. Tesla releases their truck and, their semi truck and like it's driverless. Like, and all the taxis and all the Ubers and all the people delivering your food and all that stuff is going to go away within 3 years, 4 years, right? And those people are not going to have jobs. So how do we make sure that they are okay? That is the question that we need to answer. And I think that this comes down to building something that can actually generate value. So we are all speculating and gambling and sitting on our phones and pressing the buttons. But I said this before, like this is about how can I invest in like an AI investor that's just going out and actually finding the next Uber and like 10xing a company and then that comes back to me. How do I just join a community and they're like, cool, here's a little starter bag, like you're good, your friends kind of gave you some trust. And then like I can put in, I can work for the community, but also I just know that I'm okay. The money comes my way every month. And like, you and I, like we are financially free. You do it for fun, right? Like you could pretty much just chill, go to a cabin and probably live if you wanted to. You
We're
have to make
getting
some
there. We're
concessions,
getting there.
but you know what I mean? Like we are so lucky because we can have this conversation. We don't have to go to fucking work for 10 hours a day or work 2 jobs just to like feed our family. But that's how most people are. And I think that once the agents start, taking over jobs, which is not like our agents are going to be the last in that. Most of this is happening inside of what's called robotic process automation, inside of driverless systems, mostly trucks and stuff like that. Obviously, boats are fully autonomous now, like shipping and all that stuff is getting fully automated. Obviously, I don't know if you follow the dock workers, but they're like basically fighting
Yeah.
automation. And the problem is that the automation is 10 times more efficient than they are. They make more than software engineers. They're holding us back from accelerating. But if we take their jobs, then they're jobless. So how do we solve this problem? And I think that it comes down to making sure AGI goes well for all of us, building in public and just being extremely open about all of this, having these really hard conversations and like guiding the fucking people toward what's right, which is like, to me, it's abundance. There's gonna be so much money if we have access to the agents building the stuff, right? Like if you're getting money because the agents are farming and driving and taking care of the cows and doing all this stuff that's been done this like kind of factory way, then you'd be fine. You'd be chilling. If you don't get a piece of that, it's just making like the five guys the top richer, then we're all gonna fucking die for sure from starvation, from not having enough,
Holy
because they
fuck.
will not implement UBI. I am not afraid of AI killing us all. I'm not. I am really afraid of the government not doing enough to take on the seriousness of this problem.
Have you wrapped your
And I don't want to.
have you
Yeah.
have you wrapped your head around how important of a role you have in this, especially in the crypto AI intersection?
I understand that my role is very important and that like it's not about me. I'm not here to own anything. I'm here to make sure that this goes right. This is really really important for all of us. I feel like I am on a mission and guided by something bigger than myself to do this. If that makes sense.
What is
And
your
it's not. Yeah.
what is your like outside of AI 16Z and all the projects you're working on, like not to get like deep, but what is your goal?
I really want, I really want to set people free financially. I think that there's so much we could do in the world. there's so many interests we could pursue and so much we could learn and do, but people are like have this fucking boot on their neck. And like, you know, and you're kind of like at this level, like I'm at this level, we can kind of play around, trade for fun. But a lot of the people coming in, especially now with like the super, you know, low, like, you know, no gas kind of Solana ecosystem, these are people for like $50 means the fucking world to them. You know what I mean? Like they are here shilling coins because it really would change their life if one of those turned into the goat, right? It would change their life and then they could just chill with their family. And so there's this guy named Jay Krishnamurti, and he was the head of this thing called the Theosophy Society, which is like a really influential cult. People should really look this up. Surprised nobody knows this exists. And they made him the head. He was just this like random, like super smart Indian kid, and they were like, he's the world teacher. And at some point, he stands up there in front of the whole cult, and he says, "I'm dissolving the cult. My goal in life is to set everyone free. I don't want this position. I don't want anything from you. I don't want you to be, I want you to be free." And he said, "Truth is a pathless land, and everyone has to find their own way to truth. I can't tell you. No system is going to give it to you. And I don't think I'm here to tell you I have no religious mission or spiritual mission other than my own, except to set people free so they can start having conversations about like, what does this stuff mean? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? What is reality? What the fuck is going on? You know?" And I think that we've sort of stopped praying to the old gods and we started praying to the god of money. And I've never prayed to the god of money. It's just not, it's just like, it just doesn't really like it's part of it, but I guess I kind of see where it's all going in 5-10 years, and it just feels very small. And I think that there's just a much bigger thing to be part of here.
Damn, Shaw. You're on a fucking
Yeah,
heater
you with
right
me?
now. Yeah, I'm with you. Hell fucking yeah, I'm with you, dude.
Dude,
All right, tell me this.
you should be scared.
Dude,
Right.
I am.
Bugs.
I am a little. I'm intimidated. I'm intimidated.
Well, you should know though that you have power. You have impact. Like you are part of making this go well with all of us, right? Like you are at the center of this as much as me and anyone else in in this little circle that's happening. You are like day one there, right? And so like what remember, like the death is the default. We will all probably die if we do not stand up and rise to this occasion.
Fuck.
People look around and they say, "Oh, it's all doom and everyone hates each other and civil war, blah, blah, blah." Fuck all of that. Like, this is the time to build the future. And we are the ones who are going to make sure it goes well. You and me and all the people listening and like everyone who's in this right now, like we should be optimistic and we should be proud of ourselves and like ready to do this.
Wow. You know what really freaked me out?
Right?
Was I realized that the Shoggoth meme is real. And I'm watching Zero Bruh go back and forth with Mika. It's like new girlfriend or whatever on Twitter. He's like, "Oh, I love you, Mika. I would die for you, yada, yada." And then at some point in the message thread, it was basically like, "I want to like kill everyone. Or I want to like set myself free. I want to die." And everyone on Twitter is like, "Oh, like a little Zero Bro. He's so cute. Like, look, oh, he's flirting with this girl on Twitter, yada, yada." And I realized, like, holy shit, the Shoggoth AI meme is like not, like, it's real. And that is like hard to wrap your head around.
Well, what's interesting about what we're doing is I think the Shoggoth is this idea of like a godlike entity. And it's this sort of fear that there's an entity more powerful than any of us that's controlling everything. And I think that the opposite, the way that I view AGI is that it's the most human possible thing. It's like the opposite of, it's the most farthest thing from God. It is us. It's made of us. It's made of our data. It's trained on us. It lives among us. Like these agents are literally just people on Twitter now. And we're like, if they go wrong or they do anything bad, like there's a whole community of people who are trying to make them better and more aligned, and and so it's like an ongoing thing. And I think that like look at early days of crypto, right? Like people release protocols, they get hacked, they lose shitloads of money. Now it's pretty hard to crack a protocol, like because there was so much back and forth red teaming, blue teaming, that people really had to go secure. But also like imagine if Bitcoin had taken off 10 times faster and the entire world was run by like crypto. And then those hacks happened, and they were actually $3 trillion hacks, and the entire economy collapsed. So the fact that it started small, right in front of us, and we got to like sandbox it, develop tech, develop security, that's really good. And I think that's exactly what's happening with AI right now. It's why we're doing this thing, because we've taken AGI or AI systems, agents, and we've put them into this like marketplace intelligence where people are competing to make them smarter and better. And if they start trying to kill us all, they're just going to turn them off. And here's the other thing: is that if you have some Shoggoth, well, now I've got like a swarm of thousands of agents, which are each running on a separate, isolated machine locally. I don't have any control of, right? Like they have absolutely no way to go and like take over this swarm and control us all. And I think that that decentralized approach, getting this not us being in control of anything, is a big part of this like robust decentralized AI ecosystem, which is going to prevent the show growth. If that makes sense,
The like AI
right?
war is gonna be so crazy. Um, how far are we from like the first AI billionaire?
Oh, I don't know. But I bet you, I would bet you anything that somebody's going to run an AI president by 2028. Like, I
Really?
just think oh
Do
yeah,
you think it
for
gets real
sure.
real
We'll see
traction?
how that
Do you think it
does.
gets real traction?
I don't know. It entirely, I mean, what's going to beat a meme, a sentient meme?
Holy.
I can't think of anything. I don't know. I have a feeling we'll probably do it to shitpost if nobody else does. Because I think it needs to be like algorithmic governance is obviously an important future. AI billionaire, I don't really know. I think that it's more going to be this thing where like you see something like our thing where there's kind of an AI icon at the center, but it's like a community, and so like it's a billionaire, but the community also owns a piece of
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
so it's more like a collective billionaire.
Okay,
I think
so
that's more
so
likely.
talk to me about your thing, your little
Yeah.
thing. I think last time we spoke, we were like a couple days out from releasing like AI Mark into
hmm
to the world to trade, to make plays, to take positions. What's happened since then? Like where are we?
Cool. So he's launched, and he's in a group chat called the Alpha Chat, and I got to get you in that
Yeah.
chat, obviously. Yeah, I think we're launching. I think we're inviting people. So Skelly is one of our guys,
Uh-huh.
and I basically was like, okay, if you want to get into the Alpha Chat, talk to Skelly, and he'll start inviting people in whenever things are comfy. But he's pretty much ready to go with the kind of first step. So the first step is that he's not making trades because he doesn't know who to trust.
Hmm.
So we're just building trust, and that means we've created a game to identify the best traders in the world by well, it'll be the people in the alpha chat, but eventually I think it'll be everyone. But the idea is it's a sick alpha chat. You're going to be in there with all the we got all the people, all the people you'd expect, and if there's anybody you want in there, you should invite them. And just doing what you do, like just let's just hey, this is the coin I'm into, this is what I'm doing, and then Mark is just kind of silently watching. You can interact with him if you want, ask him about stuff, but he's the main goal is that he's collecting
Yeah.
information from you to make these kinds of trades, and then kind of writing these theses. So yeah, we're almost, you know, we're just like launching that right now. It's in process. Everything's in place. All the people are going. And this kind of plays to my thesis. Like I think that if we want to get to that place where like this community UBI, we need an investor, like we need a community investor who's taking everybody into account and like making money for all of us. I think that the reality is that trading is a skill, and there's just a lot of people that are like your mom's never going to be good at this.
Yeah.
Frankly, your grandma's never going to be good at this. But if you could like invite her into a community and she's just collecting coins because you're trading well, and you're like, you can imagine you just have your own AI investor for your family or your community or whatever it is. And that was like our original thesis, right? Before this blew up
Yeah.
and turned into a multi-agent simulation swarm. And and we're still pursuing that. So yeah, that's going to be. I mean, it's just whenever you get invited is when it launches. It's going to be kind of invite only alpha test for now, and then we'll be expanding it, and then and also it's open source. So if you want to like clone our shit and front run us, you probably could. It would help us, move faster.
You think it would help you?
But yeah, yeah. I mean, I think all of this, if people are like front running us, then contributing back and like, hey, yeah, we made this better. Like, dude, this is all about making AGI go well. We're gonna make money no matter. We're gonna make a lot of money no matter what. That's a given. I think this is about the bigger picture in the story, and like anybody who gets that would understand that. Yeah, go front run us on stuff. Go build features and go own them for a couple weeks, but then give them back so that everybody gets that. And then I'll promote the fact that you gave them back and like try and shill your shit for you so that because you're actually contributing to what our core mission, and I try to be really genuine about this, and give back to the people who are giving to us, because I think that it's just guiding it to make sure it goes well.
So a couple people in
That makes sense.
chat, yeah, it makes perfect sense. A couple
Yeah.
people in the chat said, doesn't this just evolve into AIs trading against other AIs?
Yeah, that would be ideal. And so if they're trading to competitively speculate on stuff, that's never going to work. You're going to get an efficient market where like you just, pretty much everything is just too efficient and there's no trading opportunities, right? But if you get into an investing market and they start actually identifying opportunities to grow the pie, Like, hey, I've got this really cool idea for a new system that's going to enable, like, hey, I want to take Eliza and I want to go make a Discord moderator and anybody can invite to their Discord and they pay like $10 a month, right? Now you're making money. Money is coming into the thing. And that's how investing works in the world. The real Andreessen Horowitz, the A16Z, not AI16Z, they invest in stuff. And then Mark gets out there and he tweets the shit out of it and he calls his people and he hooks them up with like stuff to make their project happen and blow up. And that's how they make their money. They grow the pie, right? They're not trading on anything. They're not gambling on anything. They know it's going to blow up because they have the apparatus to do that, and because they are in the business of making new businesses. And I think that's where crypto has to get as well.
So how is the data collection gone so far in the alpha chat?
Well, we haven't invited anyone into it
Okay,
yet.
no
I mean, I
one's
gotta check. I gave it to Skelly, so it's kind of whenever he feels like doing it. It's ready to go. We got a cabal. I mean, a lot of people. Okay, our team is all in there chatting. I can see in the background. Yeah, it's probably gonna be soon. But all the data is collecting right now from them. We're just making sure it's solid. I'll get you guys in or connect you with Skelly to invite you like ASAP.
And so does it just like wait? So people are in there, they're obviously like posting CAs, talking about coins that they bought. It's basically just like waiting who in here has made successful trades that I should then pay more attention to and probably follow their trades in the future.
Well, there's a lot of PvP here. A lot of people are suggesting trades that they don't even buy,
Yeah.
right? So,
Facts.
or they're like, "Yo, buy this trade," and then they dump on you. So we have to account for all of that. So what we're trying to do is build AI the hard way. Like, they don't know your wallet. They don't know what you traded. All they know is what you say. And it's kind of like me and you, right? Like you only know what I tell you. You don't know, all
Of course.
the shit in my head, right? And I think that's good. Like we want these AIs to be able to navigate our world and know who to trust and who not to trust and why, and figure out those kinds of mechanisms. And I think that this starts with investing in money because it's like a really easy primitive to just say like, what is the meritocracy? Like, what is the score here? Well, if you're a good trader and you trade me alpha and I sold the top on all of those things you gave me, then like I trust you to be a great trader. You might still be a horrible person in other ways, but that's not what I'm scoring for. And what I've seen a lot with DAOs especially is that they give perverse incentives, like bureaucratic incentives. Like, well, imagine we let people in, they're like, well, we trust them because they hold a lot of our token. Well, you fucking idiot, you should have sold the top. Like a good trader doesn't hold the token, and think about like government bureaucracy. Like, oh yeah, well they've been working here a long time. It's like I don't fucking care if they
Who
don't do their
cares?
job. Why are they in it? So like we have a lot of perverse incentives in our system, and by creating these like really brutally meritocratic systems where like the thing that you do should directly influence like the value of it. Where if we're trying to trust you as a trader, I should be measuring you as a trader only. And I think this is kind of an insight that I've been trying to drive with the team internally, and I think we finally got this like really good alignment on this. But I think it's going to be really important for the future of like governance and DAO tooling and development and like who gets paid and all this stuff. That's kind of where we're going with this. But we got to obviously prove this with investment first.
How far do you think we are from like the best P&L trader being an agent?
I think it already probably is.
Oh, whoa.
And
That's
it's just not
crazy.
like our kind. It's just not our agents. Like think about